Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Cozy Book Reviews. And today I would like to talk about some of the series that I have been reading, that I'm in the middle of reading, and I would like to finish by the end of the year, or at least continue some of them this year. And I already talked about these first two, one of them being Malazan. I already said last time that I'm reading, well, I have to read book 9 and 10. I finished the first 8 books in the series, and that was almost 2 years ago. No, that was more than 2 years ago. So I do not remember what happened in the last 2 or 3 books. So I really need to refresh my memory, and I've been watching some videos and reading some summaries because I do not have the time to reread all of them, unfortunately, because they're pretty big books. So yeah, I'm just trying to refresh my memory, make sure I know what is going on and who are the characters, and then I will read book 9. I think I should be able to read book 9 this year. I'm not sure about book 10 because I actually don't even have it, and that's Japan. Sometimes it takes a month or two before a book comes here, but yeah, anyway, I'm really excited to finish the series because I've been reading it for a long time, and I cannot wait to be able to read book 9. Next one I talked about last time as well. We have the Trilogy by Hobb. So I read Fool's Errand 2 months ago and I loved it. I was so nervous when I decided to read this because when I read the first year trilogy a year ago, I liked it, but I was not a big fan of the ending. I did not like the ending, so I was really nervous to start these, especially after I read The Life Ship Traders, which is the second series. And I loved The Life Ship Traders. It's one of my favorite series ever. So I was really nervous, but this book was just beautiful. This book was so good. I loved it, and I think it's because this was more about humans and animals, so it explains a little bit more about the wit, which is the kind of magical ability that lets you talk to animals and bond with animals. So this was just really beautiful, and I cried so much, and I'm really excited to keep going with the Golden Fool and then Fool's Fate. And I know that I'm going to cry again and again because that's just what Robin Hobb does in her books. And next one, I don't have it, it's on my Kindle, and it's the Cradle series. This is a series that I started a few months ago, and I read book 2 last month, and I really liked it. I liked it a lot more than I liked book 1. So in book 1, I was just so confused. I had no idea what was going on most of the time, and I didn't really like the main character. The main character was just let's just say he's a cheater. I mean that anytime there is a problem or he has to do something, he's going to cheat and he's going to win. And then you get other characters that actually put effort but they're losing, and you're supposed to feel, to feel good that the main character is winning, but it was not the case with me. I really did not like it. But then, so it took me a while to read book 2, but then I did, and I liked it. The main character is a lot better. He's actually putting some effort, and I liked the other characters involved in the story. Finally, we have some interesting characters, and some interesting storyline going on. So I'm really glad I decided to keep going with the series, and I will definitely continue at least book 3, because I was told they're kind of divided into trilogies. So yeah, I at least want to read book 3 this year. Next one on my list is Of Blood and Bone. I forgot the name of the series for a moment. Of Blood and Bone by Zhang Guiying. I read book 1 last month and I liked it. One thing about these books, so these books are kind of a sequel, but not really. They are set in the same world as The Faithful and the Fallen, which is the previous series, but it's like 100 years later, 200, I don't remember, but it's quite a long time later. But because we still have like a few characters, not many, just 2 or 3 I think, when I started this it felt like a sequel without the characters that I loved. So the beginning of this book was not great. It took me a long time to read it, but then once I got like 50%, finally this book started to have its own story, and I was interested. I liked the characters, I liked the story again, and yeah, I'm glad I'm reading this. I'm excited to read book 2, which is A Time of Blood, probably next month or maybe June. It depends. It depends how long it takes me to read Robin Hobb, actually. Next one I have here, I have this series that is not very popular. It's called the Split World series, and I have book 1 here. So this series is a low fantasy. We have modern England on one side, and then we have like a parallel England where fairies live. Fairies, and they're also humans, but because they live with fairies, they don't get old, and they can use magic and stuff. And well, the fairy world is very old style, so they live in the past basically, and in this world the women of the family, they are sent away to get married just for political reasons, and they're not happy about it, of course. And you know, they're treated like basically like toys. They can't do anything, they can't get a job, they can't speak during like courts and all sorts of things. And yeah, the main character Katie is trying to help them, and I really like this storyline, like Katie's storyline. There are other storylines in the series that I don't particularly like. We have 4 main POVs, and 2 of them I think they're quite wasted. I mean, I'm not really interested in the characters. They can be sometimes boring, and I feel like they're just there to help Katie at the end of every book. But yeah, I really like Katie's storyline. She's a great main character in my opinion, so I think more people should read this series. So here it is, book 1. Next one, it's my Kindle again. I'm talking about the Dresden Files, which is very popular, and I was worried to start this series because I was told by so many people, oh, you will not like book 1 and you will not like book 2, but then it gets better and better. So I was really worried about it, but I actually liked book 1. I think because I read it without high expectations, I actually liked it. I enjoyed reading it, and all the things that bothered other people, I could see them, but they didn't really bother me as much. So yeah, I think if they actually do get better, I think I will probably enjoy them quite a lot. So yeah, excited to read book 2. Next on my series is Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castel. I hope that's how you say it. I read this in January, I think, and I just got book 2, so I will read book 2. I love this because look at this. This is so good. Uh, but yeah, it's a pretty fun and light book to read. There's nothing complicated. It's quite straightforward, and it's considered YA because the main character is a teenager, but it's not really YA. I mean, when someone says YA, I always think about a female teenager trying to save the kingdom or whatever, and she falls in love with someone. But this is not the case. The main character is not exactly trying to save his kingdom or whatever it is. But yeah, it's really fun. And by the same author, I'm also reading The Great Coats, which is on my Kindle, and I just love this author's humor. It makes me laugh, and I don't usually laugh when I'm reading books, but it makes me laugh sometimes, the banter between the characters. So this is one more. And then my last one, which I don't have, is on my Kindle, and I hope I'm saying this right. I'm reading the Ryria Chronicles by Sullivan. I read book 1 and I loved it. I just love when you have two characters that are quite different from each other, but they're best friends, or maybe you could say even brothers. And I love the banter between the characters. I love how they interact with each other. Book 1 was just so much fun because it's how they met, and they were not friends at the beginning. They were not friends at all. So it was just really, really fun to read. So yeah, here are all the series that I'm reading right now. I hope it's all of them. I might have forgotten a few, but yeah, these are the series I'm reading. And if you want to tell me if you read them and what did you think about them, or if you haven't read them, would you like to read them, or I don't know, anything. But yeah, this is all. I will see you next time.